What do you do when there's something in your partner's house that's actively trying to steal your soul? That's what our next guest encountered when she came face to face with the soul sucker.
Hi, my name is Christine Salazzi, and basically what happened was in 2015, I moved in with my boyfriend to his mom's basement in Massachusetts. I don't know if you've ever been in a split house in Massachusetts, but it's like you come in the front door and you go up the stairs, and then there's the first floor landing, or you go down the stairs and then there's usually a basement. So if you go down the stairs, there's a basement door to the right. If you open up that door, immediately inside to the right was our bed. And then there was like a fireplace and a TV set up and a little sitting area. We lived there for about a year. And during that time, I had experienced some paranormal elements, I guess, that started out pretty subtle. So it started with this black cat that I would see. And I had mentioned it to my boyfriend, Alex. And he said that his sister had also seen this black cat before. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's, just something that is around, fine. But then it started to evolve into something else where we slept on one side of the basement and then there was a threshold to the kitchen on the other side of the basement. And at night, similarly to the cats, it's kind of like a third eye thing, I guess, but I could see 3 ghosts that would stand on the edge of this threshold, and it seemed like they couldn't pass that threshold. So they were all dressed in 1800s garb, and one woman was in all white, one woman was in all black, and then there was a man that would wear a black suit. And they would just stand there and watch us while we slept. So initially it was pretty jarring. But the more that they showed up and did nothing, the less I felt weird about it. If I had to get up to use the restroom in the middle of the night, there was a woman in an all white dress that was just crying in the shower. She looked like she was wearing a wedding dress. So that was uncomfortable. I probably have bladder issues from trying to not use the bathroom in the middle of the night just to avoid her because she freaked me out. But again, it was never anything where they were interacting with us. But then he started to work Uber, and he would get up at 3:00 in the morning to go pick people up and bring them to the airport because it was a really good time to be working. And I'm a very light sleeper. So anytime that he would get up at 3 a.m., I would wake up and then I would fall back to sleep. And after a while of doing this, something started to shift where now there was this new weird entity that was there. And this one felt different than the rest. It felt very threatening. And it was this woman who would crawl on the floor towards me naked and wet, and her hair was in her face. And I would get really bad sleep paralysis. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't breathe. And for the first couple of times that it happened, she didn't reach me. I'd wake up before she reached me. But then after the 6th time that it happened, she would end up reaching me. I felt terrified. She was very small and very wet. And like I said, her hair was in front of her face. I could never see her face. And she moved so slowly that it was like I knew she was coming and my body would tense up and I wouldn't be able to move because I knew that she was coming. And she would slowly crawl up the bed and I would be able to feel the different imprints in the bed as she came towards me. Until she reached me, and she felt very evil, like she wanted something. And it would feel like something was sitting on top of my chest and sucking all of the air out of my mouth, like it was my soul or something. Which was very uncomfortable. And I couldn't wake up while it was happening. And I would be screaming without making any noise, mentally screaming. And it's kind of like a Dementor in Harry Potter where it's they suck the living soul out of you. And I could feel pieces of me leaving my body. And then I would wake up and it would be a gasping wake up. I'd never experienced that before. where I couldn't breathe. And it got to the point where this was happening so frequently and she kept coming back that I started to lucid dream. So I would wake up in my dream and I knew that she was going to be coming. So I knew I'd have to wake myself up. And then when I did, I'd wake up in another dream, but I was always in the same room. Nothing was different. Sometimes Alex would be there in my dream and I would I'd be like, Alex, you need to wake me up. It's like, it's back. I need you to find me in the real world and wake me up. But it was like something that I kept to myself. And then eventually he mentioned to me that he felt something similar, that something was sucking out his soul and he had really bad sleep paralysis. He doesn't like to talk about this stuff at all. Like, he doesn't like to talk about paranormal stuff. He likes to pretend it does not exist. It is not part of his world. I don't know what she was or what she wanted or anything like that. It just felt very predatory and like angry. Eventually we moved out of there and I've not experienced anything like that since. So yeah, I don't know what it was, but after all was said and done, he told me that when he was a kid, his mom and sister and he used to do seances in the basement. And his sister had also seen, I think, one of the women in 1800s garb. And then the last time I was there was Christmas it was probably last year, 2022. And we stayed at his mom's house and we were sleeping, and he needs to sleep with the lights on, probably because he had experienced stuff like this. I woke up in the middle of the night and there was something that was coming out of the wall that looked like a person draped in like sandpaper. And the second that they saw me, they like started to come out, and then they saw me and they just went right back in. It was a very slow thing. And I was just like, I'm just going to go back to bed, pretend this never happened. I don't think I realized how close to the paranormal world I could get. It made me realize that anytime that I do tap into anything like that, like, there's stuff out there that I don't want to know about, and I would rather keep that door closed entirely.
You have been listening to Terrifying True Stories. On our next episode, a photographer encounters something under the stage at the historic Globe Theater in Los Angeles that will change his life forever. Be sure to check it out. This episode has been brought to you by 1031 365, because Halloween should be every day. Visit 1031365.com for exclusive Halloween and horror-related coolness. That's 1031365.com. I'm your host, Ryan Azevedo. I'll see you on the other side.